Another Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the Relationship Gumbo Podcast Live Edition. And what I want you to do right now is I want you to share and invite this wherever you are chiming in from. I'm trying something out a little new tonight, so give me about 30 seconds. I'm going to make sure everything is working, and I'll be back on the other end. We got some things to discuss tonight. Not only is it going to be an amazing show, we're going to be talking about not just toxic people, but people who are pretending to be toxic. So it should be an interesting show. Give me 30 seconds and I'll be back on the other side. So stand by.
Okay, everybody wants good love, that's true, I know. Derrick Jones about to break it down with the Relationship Gumbo. Welcome to the podcast. Ain't no doubt we all need this, ayy, cause better relationships need better ingredients, ayy. So if you want better relations, it's about communication, finding love, staying together. We all wanna make it better, yeah. Derrick Jones the host, your relationship coach. Thank you all for tuning in. Relationship Gumbo, ayy.
Hey, everybody, we are back. Tonight, I'm doing something a little special. Have a special announcement tonight. I'm broadcasting to Facebook tonight. So people who are joining in from Facebook, welcome. I will probably broadcast to Facebook for approximately 2 weeks, and then I need everybody. First of all, I need you to do it tonight. Go to the YouTube channel and hold on 1 second, guys. Go to the YouTube channel and look up Relationship Gumbo Podcast, or go to my website, and I'll show you that in a minute because that's part of the announcement tonight is the website has changed. So tonight we're talking about toxic people. Are you really toxic, or are you just playing a role? And if you are here for the first time, the way I normally do the podcast is I will pause for 3 seconds, start the podcast, and pause for another 3 seconds. But before we do that, there's a couple of announcements I want to make tonight, a couple of housekeeping things, a couple of announcements tonight. So if you haven't been here before, you're watching me on video tonight. We also are an audio podcast. The announcement that's been looming probably over for probably about a year. I really spent a lot of time curating an environment where you don't only feel comfortable with the information that you get, but it feels like home. So tonight I am announcing, finally, that we are launching. Oh, let me get this little window out the way here. We are launching the Relationship Gumbo Love Academy. So this is exciting news, guys. Stand by for me 1 second. Scene locked. 1 second. Technical difficulties here. I just want to make sure that you're seeing what I'm seeing. and you see the courses, you're going to have courses and an ebook. But the other benefit that you get is that there will be a companion app that is owned by Wix. It's called Spaces by Wix. When you download that app, you'll see a join code on the website. When you go on the front page, once you go in there, that is Our Environment. So when you go to Our Environment, you get to take your courses from there. You get to interact with other people that are in that app. And this is where we'll be able to have discussion forums in there, and you'll be able to click on events through Zoom. I'm going to have one coming up, hint, hint, in a few weeks. So stand by for information on that, where we can all kind of talk about topics. You're also going to get group coaching. The group coaching is back, guys. So for a monthly fee, 2 times a month, you'll be able to have your boy at your disposal to have Q&A sessions and get some coaching via a group. So it's a lot to be said. It's a lot of goodies. I've been working extremely hard. So make sure you guys check out that new website. And we're going to get into the podcast tonight, guys. So without further ado, I told you guys about the 3-second rule. So give me my 3 seconds. We're going to get into this topic. It's not going to be a long one, but it's always impactful. You guys know how I roll. Still got some things to work on to make sure that the environment and the experience is perfect for you guys. So we're going to get this in and we're going to get it out, but you guys are going to really resonate with this one. This one was one that I had a brain dump, and now y'all know when I get the brain dumps, I don't even really do a bunch of bullet points. I just go. So give me my 3 seconds and we're going to get started. So stand by. Welcome to another episode of the Relationship Gumbo Podcast. My name is Derek Jones, and I am your host. I'm a certified life and relationship coach, an engineer strategist, and a mental health advocate. And tonight, the title is, are you really toxic, or are you just playing a role? You pretending to be toxic? You're not really toxic, but you pretending. And why would you do that? We're going to talk about that tonight. Toxicity. And I had a conversation a while ago with a friend of mine about this very subject, and what he told me was, which we know to be true, is there's perceived benefits to being toxic, right? It's even hard to say that, right? There's benefits to being toxic, right? Whether those benefits end up being good for you or bad for you, toxicity has benefits, right, to certain people. And we're going to talk about this for a little bit tonight. Why would someone make a conscious decision to be toxic? What would be the motivator for that? And we have to really think about what we see out here in the world, right? Who do we perceive as winning, right? Imagine this. Imagine a guy who's growing up, he's a teenager, maybe early 20s, and he's looking around and he's seeing which type of guys are getting the most women, right? He's looking at that prototype and he's saying, I'm not like that, but I want the results, right? So we're going to talk about this tonight. I'm going to touch on a few things, and then you guys feel free to engage in the comments. This one right here, when someone says toxicity has benefits, I really had to think about it. And I was like, you know what? This is true, because in my personal life, I think I did this a few times, right? I think I tried to become something that I wasn't in order to try to get a result that I saw someone else get, right? And it was totally out of my character, but it worked, right? So the first place I want to go is when people see negativity getting traction, when they see toxicity getting traction, right? In this era that we're in now, especially with social media and YouTube and influencers and even podcasters, the things that you see getting the most traction tend to be the most toxic, tend to be the most negative. Those are the things that are getting the 1 million followers on YouTube and subscribers on YouTube and all of these followers on TikTok is the negativity, right? So somebody who may have a positive platform may look at those numbers and say, maybe I need to switch it up a little bit. Maybe if I bring in that negativity, I'll get those numbers. If I get those numbers, then maybe I'll start getting paid like these other people. So I'm going to switch up my whole model so that I can get those results, right? And then there's a moral side to this, right? Especially those of us who have platforms. What are you feeding your audience? What are you feeding yourself? Because you have to internalize the negativity in order for you to even spout it, right? And we see these people popping up and they're like clones of each other. And it's all toxic and it's all negative, right? And as this is a relationship show, what does that type of person look like when they show up in their homes? Because they have to live. You know how actors will always say they played a role for so long and then they couldn't shake it. It took them a while to shake off the character because they had to be in character for so long and so many hours a day that they had to shake it, especially when it was a character that was like, you know, really evil and you know, these psychological thrillers, and they have to really dig deep to find, you know, that character. It's kind of the same thing. Who do you become, right? And so when we find people that we think are winning, just like I did as a young lad, I saw the toxic, and I'll just give you like my little brief story time. The toxicity dudes, they was getting all the chicks, and I was the nice guy, and I ain't like that. Nobody wanted the nice guy. nobody wanted the dude that was gonna treat you the way that we thought that people want to be treated. It was the toxic dudes. They was winning, right? In my mind. So when the nice guy thing wasn't panning out for me, the who I wasn't panning out for me, I was like, let me try be a little bit of an asshole and see what happens. Let me act like I don't give a damn and see what happens. Let me be dismissive and see what happens. When I tried it, it worked. And guess what happens when something works? And it's feeding that part of you that needs validation. You want more. It's like a drug. You gotta keep doing it, right? It's just like these YouTubers. Once those numbers go up, why stop? Right? Your moral code is gone because you're getting the benefits of being negative and toxic. And it boggled my mind. Why? Why would this persona be more attractive? The world may never know, right? But it worked. Because I think in some forums, that toxicity, people, they call it exciting. It's not boring. Even though it may not feel good in the end, maybe you're hurt and devastated, but I had my excitement for the time. It works for a lot of people. This negativity works for a lot of people. Look at TV. Look at the things that get the best ratings. Pretending to be something that I'm not for ratings. Who do you become? If you're doing this and you're in a relationship, who are you attracting that likes the toxicity? And how beneficial to you is it really? Is it a temporary short fix? Or is this a lifelong character that you're going to have to play in order for you to feel validation in your life? When do you get to become you? Right? And I talk about this on the show a lot. People who have to pretend to be something else long term, it's like a prison. It's like a jail that you sit in. And there's going to be a part of you at some point that's going to want to break out of that cell. And you're going to want to be somewhere where people actually want to be around the real you. But guess what? That may not be your house anymore because you just got married to and dated a person that liked you being toxic. I need for y'all to sit on that for a minute. As we segue into the next piece of this, and the next type of person that tends to pretend to be toxic. And this one right here, I'm going to sit on this one for a little bit because this one is one of the ones that's kind of like my pet peeve. And I don't know, I'm trying to think if I've ever done this, but people who they get hurt by someone or they get hurt by several someones, they want payback for what those people did to them. I guess maybe I did do this. I think I did do this, guys. You get hurt by people, you want payback, and so then you do the thing that they did to you to someone else. Right? But this is why this bothers me so much. And I'm gonna parse it out by gender because it just sounds, I'll just say it sounds interesting. You know, we're in this whole sexual liberation time and free love and do who you want to do and do 10,000 of them and it's cool, right? But I always hear a lot of women say, I'm sleeping with a bunch of men because men do it all the time. I'm going to treat men the same way that they have hurt and treat women. I'm going to do the same thing back to. I'm going to just sleep with everybody because that's what the men do it. Is that a flex? I don't like. Y'all have to correct me if I'm wrong, right? And I know we've always grown up, you know, 2 wrongs don't make a right. And I know revenge feels good or whatever. But you taking it out on every person you meet. Not because of your getting revenge on the person that did it to you, but because men do this. Men do this, so I want to do it too. Chicks do this, so I want to do it too. You normally don't really hear it the other way around, but you hear it a lot from women, and they're like, well, men can do it, and so why can't we? And I'm like, I understand this whole equality thing, but that's not the thing you really want to be equal to. Like, to my point at the beginning of the show, that's not really you. You're pretending to be this because you'll feel vindication that because men do it, now you're doing it to men and now you feel better about yourself because you would hurt somebody. Or you slept with, 30 dudes in a week and you like, men do it too. Who are you after that? After number 30, like who is this really you? So somebody's gonna have to like DM me and make this make sense to me. It doesn't, like, we can say there's a lot of men who do a lot of bad things, right? We can go ahead and put a check mark on that. At what point do you say, I want to feel like they do, so I'm going to mimic the bad thing that they're doing so that I can, I don't know, we're fill in the blank. So you're pretending to be toxic and it's not really who you are. It's not really who you are. And here's the thing. I'm going to touch on one more topic and then I'm going to bring it around full circle so y'all can really see that this does not help. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help the environment that you are pushing this negativity out into, right? And God forbid you have kids that got to watch you doing it, right? The other thing I want to talk about people who fake toxicity are people who are dealing with something traumatic, right? Could come from childhood, could come from relationship, whatever. They dealing with traumatic stuff, and the way that they cope with it is they become like this mean person, this dismissive person. I'm just a mean person. You wasn't born that way. And you owning it. But it's not really who you are. You're doing it because you think it's protecting you. And then these are the people who will do these extremely toxic things for whatever their reason is, right? But I'm going to call it trauma, right? So now we're talking about people who do things to hurt other people or the environment around them But then they'll say this: I know I did the thing, but I'm really a good person. That's not really who I am. But then they keep doing it. It's not really who you are, but you keep doing it. It's not really who I am. My bad. Right? Sound like a narcissist, right? Sound like somebody that's, abusing someone. I need for y'all to catch that. It sounds like abuse. Sounds like physical abuse, emotional abuse. It's not really who I am. And guess what? Guess what? They're right. It's not really who they are. We don't know how many years and how much stuff has happened to create this person, but they're right. It's not really them. The problem is when you do not try to heal from it or correct the behavior, because then it becomes you. And how much of your life are you willing to devote to being this character that hurts people? It becomes who you are. It almost is like an addiction because, like I said at the beginning of the show, sometimes your toxicity yields you some temporary benefits. Right? Some people are toxic and they've beaten down the other person so much that that person won't even let them go. So the benefit to you being toxic is you don't have to worry about your significant other leaving. So I'm going to keep doing it. There's no need for correction if there's no consequence. I'm going to repeat that. People who mask themselves in toxicity have no need for correction if there is no consequence. That is why I always will teach until my fingers bleed. Your boundaries and your standards have to be adhered to at all times, inside and outside of a relationship. Because toxic people with no consequences they'll keep twisting the knife. When they meet you, you got to be like, you're going to learn today because I'm not doing it. So think about it, guys. Have you ever been the person who has transformed themselves into something else, either to protect yourself or because you saw some benefit to it because you saw someone else do it? Either way, it is not the genuine version of you. Now, here's the caveat. Most of us aren't 18. We done been through things in our lives. Things that have changed us. Things that have changed our perspective. It makes us move a certain way to protect ourselves and all these other things, right? But when what you have to do to protect yourself hurts other people, then it starts to look different. Right? Because protecting yourself is like defense. If someone's running to attack you and you push them out the way, you're not intentionally hurting anyone. You're protecting yourself. When your toxicity is offensive, when whatever you're doing negatively to protect yourself is offensive, now it's a problem. I'm just going to be like this because that's how men treat women and women treat men. I'm just going to do it anyway. It's offensive now. It is done with the sole purpose of hurting someone else. And it says more about you than it does about them. As I like to say on my show, it's a you problem. Let me read a couple of these comments. Love Tucker says, I feel like I'm turning into the mean person. She also says that's one of those drinking poison thinking it's going to kill the other person. Yeah. Yeah. And to think about it, guys, not even just for yourself, but think about the people who you know aren't good for you, who stay in your sphere, your circle, who are toxic to your environment that you let stay there. And a lot of times they are being that way because they've seen it work somewhere else. They think that there's a cost benefit to being that way, so they're going to keep trying. They're going to see how long you're going to endure it. This is why loving yourself, having healthy boundaries, it's not foolproof, but it will help you keep your peace of mind. It will help you move differently out in this world and not have to be mean. Because when you say, and I'm gonna use your sentence, Love Tucker, even though I don't know the context, when you start to turn into a mean person who becomes offensively mean, or that is just your disposition, your environment soaks that in, whether you think it does or not. And then you have to ask yourself, is this mean persona fair to people who have done nothing to me? Who made me like this? And why do I feel the need to continue being like this? Because like I said, and like I will always say on my shows, because I'm wrapping this up now a little bit, I do have one more thing I want to talk about though. When you look at the world, there's negativity all around you. There's mean and evil people all around you. You cannot control what they do. You cannot control their motives. The only thing you can control is how you show up. And if you control how you show up and you are peaceful within yourself, doesn't matter what they're going to do or what they're going to try to do, because it's not going to get through, because you're not going to let nobody interrupt your peace by any means necessary. When you are not at peace, you have to be mean. So I'm gonna let that little Cessna play. I'm gonna let it land. The other place I want to go real quick is these people who want to be like these I hate to say it because I love hip hop, and you know, the city girls and these thugs, and it's not you. We know where you grew up. You're not a thug. You're not a city girl, but you want to be that because you think there's a cost benefit to treating people like crap. There's a flex for you to be a scammer. That's not who you are. We know who your mama is. We know what neighborhood you grew up. It's not you. We see it in hip hop all the time. These people who pretend to be living a certain life, and then we find out it's really not. But there's a benefit to being toxic. The question is, do those benefits align with your moral code and the type of person you are? Because here on this show, we're community focused. So if my negativity affects my community, then I'm to blame for what the community becomes, even if it's just my little part. What are we doing? I'm not the moral police, But I want you to be the police over who you want to show up as. And are you being true to that? Are you being true enough to yourself that the notion of you being toxic or negative to any person or anyone in your community, it should make you sick to your stomach? But again, and I repeat, sometimes when you get a little bit of taste of the toxic benefits, it's a drug. And just like any drug, it's hard to get off of it. You got to detox from the behavior so that you can look at who you are and then move forward in a manner that best suits who you want to be. I think I just made a quote. So, this is the grown-up version of me talking, okay? This is the enlightened version of me. So I want y'all to really just think about how we show up in our relationships, how we show up in our communities, how we show up in our families. And are we that negative thing that we feared? Are we that person that is getting people back for what they did to us? But it's not the person that did it, it's everybody. You are now that toxic seed that grows. And if you live your life long enough acting toxic, you will then spill that over into your offspring because they are watching you. So think about it, guys. I'm about to get off of here because your boy got things to do. I'm really excited about the launch of the Relationship Gumbo Love Academy. And because this is the podcast portion, I'll just lightly say what you have in store is you have online courses. You'll get the honesty that you get from me like you do on the podcast, but I've compartmentalized it into modules that you can follow step by step so that you can get to making better decisions. I got the ingredients, y'all. Got the gumbo, y'all. So you get the online courses. You got ebooks coming. You already have one already up now. But the launch is not until July 13th. So those of you that are on here now, you get to get a sneak peek. And download that app. Everything's gonna happen in the app. I'm gonna keep saying that every week. Everything is going to happen in the app. You will build community in the app. You will get your courses from the app. You will be privy to events. When you follow me on Instagram, I'll announce the pop-ups when they're going to happen. You'll get a push notification that says I'm going live on Instagram in an hour. We are anti-algorithm in the app. You're getting all the information up front. We're not doing this algorithm thing. I want you guys to come and feel like you're at home. That's why the website is My Relationship Gumbo. This is your home, guys. So, and the group coaching is coming back. So those of you who experienced the group coaching before, group coaching is coming back. So twice a month, you're going to get a live in Zoom where you can ask me questions. We're going to have some topics and we're just going to, fellowship and talk it out and try to figure out these things. You get your coach right there twice a month. You'll also have a discussion group that's open 24 hours a day where you can go in and have discussions with each other or with me 24 hours a day in the app. So make sure you get the app. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. But yeah, exciting times are coming. Y'all know I've been talking about this for a long time, but I've been putting in that work. That's why you haven't been seeing me post a lot on social media, because I've been having my head down and just trying to get this thing curated for you guys. So I'm excited about this for you guys, and I'm excited to meet a lot of strangers that bring them into my into my environment so that they can get some of this stuff that you guys have been getting for years now. They'll be able to come in and get it too. So July 13th is the official launch, but y'all know I'll be talking about it every day. I'm gonna be going live on Instagram, and we gonna do what we normally do. We just got more things to add into the repertoire. So on that note, I'm going to end the show. You guys have an amazing night. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. And I will see you. There's a potential next week. That next week's show may be postponed, but you'll at least get an Instagram live that day during the day. But I will keep you posted on that. Just kind of follow me everywhere. And if you're in the app, you get a push notification that says the show is going to be postponed. So just make sure that y'all connect with me, man. This is going to be good. I'm excited, as you can tell, and I just want you guys to be excited too and really get some good relationship conversation, relationship advice, and get to mix, mingle, and network with people that are like-minded, that been through some of the same things. Like, this is how we grow. So on that note, I'm out of here. See you guys next week, same time, same place. Have an amazing rest of your week and weekend, and take care of yourselves and your families, and I'll catch you then. Bye-bye.
Okay, everybody wants good love, that's true, I know. Derrick Jones about to break it down with the relationship gumbo. Welcome to the podcast. Ain't no doubt we all need this, ayy, cause better relationships need better ingredients, ayy. So if you want better relations, it's about communication, finding love, staying together. We all wanna make it better, yeah.